Hello everyone, how's it going? Have you had some symptoms before that made you concerned about your gut health? Well, our gut health can have a huge impact on our immune system, our risk for chronic conditions, our mental health, and our overall health. Well, what are some things that we may be doing that could have a negative impact on our gut health? And what are some things that we could do to have a positive impact on our gut health? I know you're probably thinking of probiotics. Well, I actually learned a few new things when I did some research. If that sounds interesting to you, then keep watching. So what is gut health? It's actually referring to our entire digestive system. We actually have microorganisms inside our small and large intestines that actually help us to benefit from the nutrients that we take in. This is called our gut microbiome. Now, the key is to have the right balance of the good bacteria to counteract the bad bacteria. Well, that's hard to say. So when we have the right balance, we're actually able to digest our food, metabolize nutrients, and reduce inflammation. So what could cause this system to go out of balance? Well, our modern lifestyle doesn't really help. Many of us are dealing with high stress, little sleep, and we're eating highly processed food and sometimes dealing with an overuse of antibiotics. So what can help? Well, obviously, we do need to find ways to reduce our stress and to prioritize sleep. But we want to try to avoid highly processed foods, and that's not the easiest thing to do. But even if we can make some small changes, it can actually improve our gut health. And this is because a diet high in processed foods and added sugars can actually decrease the amount of good bacteria we have in our gut. So we want to try to limit or avoid foods that are hard for our body to digest, like salty, high sodium foods, processed foods, fried foods, artificial sweeteners, and red meat. Now, what foods would actually be good for our gut? And what did I learn about probiotics? Well, before we move on to that, I'd like to remind you to please like and subscribe if you're enjoying today's video. Also, just a reminder to check out the links below. You can always find more information there on the same topic. And feel free to leave a comment if you found something that's really helped you with your gut health. So when I think about probiotics, oftentimes I think about supplements. But when I did some research, I found out that it's actually best to get probiotics from food. For one thing, supplements can be very expensive, but another thing is if they don't contain the right strain of bacteria that we need, we may have a specific condition or problem. We may not really see any benefit or notice a difference. Now, the American Gastroenterological Association, they actually don't recommend probiotics for most GI conditions. So just like any time you're going to start a supplement, it's best to speak with your healthcare team. But taking probiotic supplements are relatively safe for most people. But if you actually have a compromised immune system, if you've had surgery recently, or if you're getting chemotherapy treatment, it's very, very, very important to talk to your doctor to make sure it will be safe for you to incorporate probiotics, either supplements or foods. But if you're able to, if the doctor says it's safe for you, you can try some foods high in probiotics. Fermented foods are very good, like kombucha. It's a slightly fizzy tea. There's pickles and sauerkraut, but you'd want to get these items in the refrigerated section of your grocery store because they're more likely to have live organisms if they're refrigerated. You can also make your own pickled vegetables. There's a link actually below from Harvard Health. They have a recipe there for spicy pickled vegetables you could try. You can also check out the dairy section of your grocery store and purchase yogurt or kefir. Now, kefir is a slightly fizzy, tangy drink. It's thinner than yogurt. But what you would want to look for is food labels that say live and active cultures. Another thing that's super important for our gut health is to have a variety of prebiotic foods in our diet. Now, prebiotic foods, they actually act as a food source to support the good bacteria in your gut, while the probiotics actually add to the population of the good bacteria. So prebiotic foods are generally fiber-rich foods, so they're like fruits and vegetables, whole grains. Some examples would be garlic, onions, artichokes, bananas, apples, and whole oats. Now, if you're not used to having this much fiber in your diet, it's better to start them slowly because they could cause some bloating and discomfort. Another thing we want to consider is that we may have some food intolerances. Now, food intolerances are different from food allergies. Those can actually be life-threatening. But if we have a food intolerance, we may notice when we eat a certain type of food that we experience discomfort and indigestion. So we want to try to avoid those foods. Now, there is more research that's needed to be done, but scientists are learning that our gut health affects way more than just our digestion. It actually can affect our immunity, our mental health, and our risk for chronic illnesses. Now, usually when we experience intestinal gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or even nausea, it's usually a temporary situation and our body is able to correct whatever is going on. But if we're experiencing these symptoms on a regular basis, it's best to speak with a healthcare professional so that we can get a proper diagnosis and treatment. Because as we've been discussing, our gut health is linked to our overall health. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you in the next video where we'll discuss another way we can improve our health.